Hello, everybody. It is Rebecca here. I am here with the fabulous Ashleigh Weule. Welcome, Ash. It's so good to have you and your bright and shiny self.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. It's great to have you here. I know we're starting a couple minutes early, folks, just before 1 o'clock, but we thought we'd take the opportunity to just start and then wait for people to join so they can make sure that they're involved. I can get myself set up with my banners. It looks like you've already created one for yourself, Ash, which is perfect.
What
do I need to tell folks? Hello, whoever's joined us. What I need to tell folks is if you want to comment, you're more than welcome to do so, but you may even see a little post above this live that says for your name to show up next to your comment, you actually need to click on the StreamYard app and actually give them permission, because when you're in a Facebook group, because of the privacy settings, they don't automatically do that. They can do it if it's on a page, but they don't do it if it's in a group. So if you'd like to make some comments, and by all means do, let us know that you're here, that you're watching, and be really good to have people just click on the app and say, yes, I'm happy to give you permission to see my name so we can see who's actually commenting. So welcome, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with Ash today. Welcome, lovely.
Me too.
Yeah, but so let's get started by just introducing you a little bit. So Ash and I, gosh, how many years has it been? Just about 2.5?
2.5, yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 years we've worked together doing intuitive work, and during that time, it's been like watching a peony rose open up. So Ash and a beautiful self, to give you a bit of background, Ash has 4 beautiful children, which we will be introduced through her beautiful necklace, 1 charming husband, and a thriving business. And I know, and of course, you're an intuitive goddess who has been previously done hairdressing work, which I know that you still do as well. So you're multi-talented. Got Fee there. Welcome, Fee. Welcome. And I would love for you to just maybe tell us where you are. Some people might be able to hear that you are from
Australia. So I thank you everyone for jumping on. I'm super honoured that Rebecca's asked me to be a part of this. I adore her. And I think everyone who is in her presence just knows how wonderful she is. And I have had the absolute honour and pleasure of having her as a mentor and a guide over the last 2.5 years. So I wanted to take this time to say a very special thank you. For always being there and always supporting me and giving me a little kick up the butt when I needed it too as well, which we'll get into that. So basically, as you can tell, I'm an Aussie and I live in a really small town which is called Tumbarumba. So we're in New South Wales. So to give you a bit of an idea, we're nested right in the middle of Melbourne and Sydney. So we're like 5 hours to Sydney and 5 hours to Melbourne. So that'll kind of give you a bit of an idea where we are. It is very cold here. I think the weather is very similar to where you guys are in Christchurch. Maybe it's a little bit more snowy where you are, but it still gets really, really cold, and we get snow here too. So it's freezing here today.
Oh, we'll let you off with that because it's so funny, because New Zealanders always associate Australia with just being hot and sunny. So when an Australian complains about it being cold, it's kind of like there's part of us that goes like, are you serious? But it does get really cold. Yeah.
We get the best of both worlds really here. We get really, really hot summers. And I'm going to go into that because it'll kind of weave into my story. But we get really, really hot summers, but then we get really cold winters too. So I think it's like 5 degrees here at the moment, so it's cold.
Wow. Yeah, maybe even colder than it is here.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, because I love that you talk about that, because the word that came into my mind was contrast, between them and cold. So let's maybe rewind to 2.5 years ago and tell me what kind of prompted you to do some intuitive work, and why you decided to join Intuitive Mastery. What was going on in your life at the time?
Yeah, so I have always found myself to be a very confident person. But I just noticed over the years, hairdressing and having kids, and as once you become a mother, you kind of start to lose yourself a little bit because you're so focused on raising a family. And me and my husband decided that we would move back to Tumbarumba, which is our hometown, from where we were previously living, and really just start afresh and really create our life, like really start to build our dream house and our dream life and all of that kind of things. But really I remember sitting in the lounge room one night and just feeling like really, really lost, and being in that place of going, we are creating this dream life, but I still feel like something's missing. And I really felt like I've always known that there was a bigger thing out there, and I've never been religious, but I just knew that there was a higher power out there. And I remember just this one night going, I need to connect with my angels, and I had no idea what my angels were. I had no idea who I was talking to, what I was talking to, but I just remember going, I feel this need to connect to an angel and get some guidance and stuff like that. And it was quite funny because a couple of years previous to that, I'd actually done a course with Christy Marie Sheldon, the 1 year intuitive course. I can't even remember what it was called, but it was amazing. And I met this beautiful girl, Cara, and she is just divine. And she's a fellow Aussie. We've never met. We just met through this program and just like messaging each other. So we're about 10 hours away from each other. And she said, I know this beautiful lady, Rebecca, and she can really help you out. And it just happened that very next day. So it was really guided and really powerful. And I've always seen Rebecca as my little like guardian angel because she showed up when I was asking for an angel. So yeah, that kind of just started where I was at. And then I did 5 one-on-one sessions with Rebecca, and it was absolutely powerful. I remember I had no idea what I was getting into. I had no idea what was going to be in the sessions or what we were going to do, but I just knew I had to do it. I remember one session I just cried the whole time, and then the next session I was just so light and airy and fluffy. And over those 5 sessions, my business tripled and my confidence just was like through the roof. And I just felt like I found a purpose and I found my passion back in my business as well too. So then I decided to jump in to Intuitive Mastery and just go, and it was more for me. It wasn't more for developing myself into an intuitive coach at that time. But I just wanted to do it for me and also to give back to my girls on my team as well, to be able to help them step into their power and, into their own intuitive power as well too. So that was kind of where I was at.
And I love that too, because I know that it's a big driving force for you. And I think we have a similar value there, which is to see women be empowered, right? Women to be able to go, yes, I have this dream and it's safe for me to choose my desire and it's safe for me to go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so my predominant business that I do is Arbonne. So we're in the network marketing space and we sell health and wellness products, but it's really like the whole fundamentals of it is giving yourself and looking after yourself from both inner and outer well-being as well. So we have skincare, makeup, nutrition. And from that standpoint, it's all interconnected. And I think it's really, really great because then it's also the connection of spirit as well and soul. And I find that that's really, like, I've really stepped into a new niche pretty much of like, okay, we've got the beautiful non-toxic products that give you a result, but then you're also empowering women both in their financial gains but also in their health and their wellness, but then you're also adding that energy work into it and being able to help people remove their blocks and step into their own personal development and their own daily practice. Like, it's just so powerful.
Absolutely. And so tell us what you think, because it hasn't always been easy, right? There have been challenges. And, maybe looking back over the past couple of years, what comes to mind as one of your biggest challenges? and because you've overcome a lot, right? Like I would have to put my hand up and say your dedication and your commitment, kind of dropping deep into it and really embodying the work has been stellar, right? And that's that's a testament to you. And we'll talk about that a little bit in a moment. But maybe you can share the last couple of years, like what's come up for you that has been really challenging, and how do you think you've overcome it through?
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things, coming into it, I really wanted to get my finances in check and see money as an energy as opposed to a burden. So that was one of my things that I've really worked really, really hard on, and seeing it more of an energy. But then also we've had a lot of life curveballs as well too. Like I've had a lot of grief. We've had like big life moves. I know when I did the first Intuitive Mastery, when I started, I had 3 kids at the time, and halfway through the program, we conceived and manifested our fourth child, which was amazing because that happened so quickly, whereas we didn't really have that previously with our other 3 conceptions. So that was really, really cool. But I think the biggest thing for me is I put so much pressure on myself and so much control. So it's all about, like, for me, it's been a process of letting that go and just having a trust that there is something else, higher power out there that is supporting me and got my back, and I don't really need the permission of other people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It can be a really big thing to give permission to yourself to go for it.
Yeah.
Be able to say, this is my big juicy dream and I'm choosing that and I'm going to go for it.
Yeah. Totally. And I think too, we've had many conversations where we've spoken about, okay, like, I know that you're looking at this bigger picture and stuff like that, but step back and appreciate where you are right now. And 6 months ago, this is where you wanted to be. Like, it's just, that gratitude and being present, and and it does. I think a major thing too, especially for mums out there as well, when you become a mum, you invest so much into your kids, but I really think it's important that you need to step back and put that investment back into yourself. So fill up your own cup and be your own person and your own energy in order to help them grow up and become their own human beings, but also to have them look up to your role model as well, like, and see that you are doing all the right things and looking after yourself first too. And that reflects in my kids. It's not necessarily something that I'm telling them to do, but they do gratitude around the table and all of the really cool things that they've seen me do. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and it's so powerful because, of course, the positive energy flows on, and then if there's a dip for one child, right, another child can kind of say, hey, let's bring you back, right? But tell me about your beautiful children, because you were telling me about your necklace that you were wearing before. So to your
Okay, so I've got 4 girls, and they often are referred to my 4 little minis because they do look a lot like me. So I've got Miller. So she's M. I'm back to front. So I'm like trying to work out which way I'm going. Okay, so Miller is over this side, and she is 7, and she is so clever. And I often refer to her as my little intuitive, like she just knows things. And I've got Winter, and she is 5, and she starts school next year, and she's a lot like me, very sensitive. Then Roxy, she's 3, and she is just so timid, just full of laughter, dances around the rooms and stuff like that. And Sailor. So Sailor is 1, and she was our little angel. So, we found out that we were pregnant with her throughout that course, but also when we were going through a big grieving process. So she is like extra special to us as well too.
Totally. Yeah. So too, that was from memory, you set that intention. I intend for this to happen, and it reality. And I think if I remember correctly, you were a little surprised. It was just like, oh goodness, So So, yeah, awesome. Okay, so if your finances were a big part of it when you first started, how do you feel about that now in regards to money?
There's so much more ease and relaxed energy, whereas prior to this it was so much pressure. Like when, like, to give you, like, put it into perspective as well. So at that time I was probably, so I'm a full-time stay-at-home mum. I do hairdressing every now and again, probably once every 6 weeks, just to purely keep my hand in the pie. But it's my business that is predominantly bringing in my own income. And my husband's such an incredible worker and he's amazing. So he has provided us with a really beautiful life. But also from this perspective, at the time before I started working with Rebecca, I was making maybe like $200 a week, $200 a month from my business. Whereas now I make a full-time income plus more on a monthly basis, and get bonuses and earn lots of cool things. And it's just absolutely skyrocketed my business. And there's so much more relaxed energy around money. I see energy is never ending. There's always more coming in. And like there's still work to do there, but it's definitely there's so much less pressure around it. I know I'm 100% supported.
Okay. I want to unpack that a little bit, because I think if people are listening to this, they might just think, oh, you're making more money, so it's easier to be relaxed. But what you and I know, right, is it's kind of like you have to do the inner work to be relaxed for the money to show up more.
Yeah.
So even identifying the limiting beliefs that you have around money, because you can have money and still be stressed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably one of my biggest limiting beliefs was I couldn't be a stay-at-home mum and have a thriving business at the same time. And I always say this because it's kind of like my tagline for 2020. It's like the best of both worlds. Like one of those big limiting beliefs was I couldn't have the best of being at home with my kids and still have a thriving business. Like they don't go together. So that was one of my big things as well, which I'm so happy to say.
Which is perfect too, because go ahead. Sorry, got a bit of overlay. I was going to say, I think a lot of people who have children and who want to be self-employed or have their own business or have their thing on the side, they need to do that, right? Because a lot of people think, oh my goodness, 4 children, like and business, how do you do that?
We were talking about this before. I think, and this is the beauty of this program as well, what it actually helped me to do was help me to kind of prioritize my time better, and also attach certain things with activities we were already doing in the household. Like I was saying before I'd come on here, I just ran from the gym. So prior to doing this program, I would never have taken my kids to the gym or put them in the creche or anything like that. Whereas I've really found a beautiful personal trainer, a beautiful gym where I can take my kids with me and they can actually witness their mum looking after their health on another perspective, whereas I would never have done that.
And that's beautiful. I love that, right? Because
I think we may have I'm not quite sure if you guys have lost Rebecca as well. I'm getting her a little bit scratchy. She's just coming back through. Yeah, there you go. You're back.
Sorry about that. I'm not quite sure what happened there. It's the first time I have used this software, so I guess we'll just see how we go. What you were saying about making yourself a priority and having a boundary, right? Kind of going, actually, instead of going into the default position of I have children and it's too hard or it's too much of a hassle, you actually have the willingness to put yourself at the top of your to-do list.
Absolutely. I think that's the biggest, and that's a big thing that I see in my business as well too. And I don't think anyone needs permission, but sometimes you need someone to say, you need to go do that. You need to go and be yourself before you can be a mum. And I know you've often said that to me too, like, you need to prioritize yourself and make a daily practice. So every single morning, I get up and I do a gratitude, and I do some journaling and stuff like that. And it got to a point where I physically couldn't get up any earlier because otherwise I wouldn't have any sleep. So I had to go, okay, how am I going to do this? So I literally include my girls in it now. And the first couple of weeks, it was really hard, to set that boundary, but I was determined. I was like, okay, I want them to see that every morning I get up and I'm writing my journal and a gratitude and stuff like that. So now they get up and they do their own thing if they see me writing in my journal, or my eldest has just started writing stuff down as well and writing stories and stuff like that. So I think it is, and it's, I think too as well, a big boundary for me is really recognizing what lights me up. So I've learned to say no to a lot of things. So if there's an event or if there's something on and it doesn't feel right for me, I'm not afraid now to go, no, it's not the right time for me now, or it's just not sitting right with me. Whereas I would never have said no. Was such a people pleaser, and I'd be like, okay, yes, I'll do that, even though I'd be like running around like crazy and stuff like that. Whereas now I'm quite happy to just be like, okay, that's not really working for me. I'm just gonna do my own thing.
Wow. And like, even listening to that, to maybe somebody who's not there yet, what would you say to it? Because do you know what I mean? It's very different at a people pleaser and then shifting into, checking with yourself and going, is this something that I really want to do? What do you think your big advice is in regards to kind of bridging the gap for people?
I think just being okay with if you do slip up, like if you give yourself permission to set your boundary, but you may have times where you still find yourself falling into that pattern. And being okay with that, like waking up the next day instead of beating yourself up and being like, oh, I'm trying to set this boundary and I just said yes and oh my God, and then you're kind of stirring up that energy, as opposed to being like, you know what, I'm practicing.
Yes.
Like I'm practicing my boundary setting, and I'm happy, like next time I'll just know. And also just taking a step back as well, just like after somebody's asked you, instead of immediately saying yes, maybe just taking 30 seconds to just step back and be like, is this, like, does it feel good? Or does it feel like icky in my stomach? Like, does it, the difference, like when something feels, your intuition and that gut feeling. If you have that gut feeling and something's icky, it's probably not in alignment with you. Whereas if you feel like, oh, yes, I really want to do that, then you can go ahead and say yes. So more like just instead of taking things off the whim and saying yes straight away, just being like, okay, let's take a step back, think about it for a couple of seconds and do a yes or no. And then if you do say yes and you look back and you're like, oh, that just definitely wasn't what I wanted to do, just being okay with yourself that you've done that. Just being like, okay, that's fine. Next time I'll try again.
Sure. So also too, even having the awareness that now you can do that and previously you were people pleasing, what do you think it has done with having those boundaries in place in terms of your own happiness?
It's definitely shifted a lot of relationships as well. But in turn, it's made me feel happier and lighter in all perspectives of my life as well too. I can go to bed, my mind's not racing as much, which I know sometimes we can just go to bed and you can't go to sleep because you're just overthinking things all the time. Whereas I know that, I just feel lighter, and I know that when I fill up my own cup and I do have my own boundaries, I don't know, I just sleep better and I feel better and I feel like I can serve other people better. And I do notice, and I still overstep my boundaries sometimes. Like sometimes I say yes to things and then I look back and I'm like, oh, I'm not quite sure if this is the right thing. And just reevaluating and really thinking, okay, what is it about that is making me upset, or what is it that's making me feel a bit icky? And then stepping back and going, okay, we'll step that aside.
Yeah, that's
Does that
awesome.
make sense?
Yeah, of course. Like that, that sounds like self-mastery for me, to have someone willing to do the self-inquiry and ask yourself those questions so you can gain the clarity to be able to move forward.
Yeah,
So
and I think just honoring that it's not going to happen overnight. Like it's not, I think that's the biggest thing for me is I want everything to happen right now.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of people like that, right? Totally.
Yeah, like I just want everything to happen right now. So that's probably been a big challenge too, as well, is just honoring the journey and stuff like that. But it's also, it's like, okay, it's just going to take time, and being okay with it taking time, and everything happens for a reason. And there's always lessons in everything as well too. So something like I've had a challenging 8 weeks, but I'm stepping out of it and I can see all of the lessons in it. And I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful, because that really strengthened my boundaries as well.
Yeah, I love hearing that too, right? Because that's the ultimate in terms of oneness, is realizing that you're not being punished, or the universe isn't, creating chaos and driving you crazy. It's actually gifting you so you can learn what it is you need to learn to evolve into the next evolution of you.
Yeah. And it was hard going through it, but I knew going through it, I was like, okay, this is what it is. This is what it's like, my lesson here. And then to step forward and take that lesson and actually take action on it felt so much better. Felt so much better.
Yeah. And to, so it's a multiple part process, right? To perceive what is happening, and then to do that self-referral, and to know how to ask those questions of yourself to get the clarity to then be able to make the action step and go, okay, this is how I'm going to choose to respond.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's also a thing that you've gifted me as well, is this beautiful, I love how you teach people to step into their own power and do it for themselves. And I know you really pushed me to be like, okay, Ash, it's time for you to do it yourself and time to learn me. And you give us such a beautiful toolbox as well. So it's not like you're sitting there going, I don't even know what to do. You go, okay, this is your toolbox. What tool are you going to use? What are you going to implement now?
Yeah. That's autonomy, right? Which I know sometimes, because also too, we've talked quite a lot about authority and being in your own authority, like I would call it your authority. Authority to me is being the author of your own life, and power is being connected to source energy. And I guess at the end of the day, knowing what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a circumstance not too long ago, right? And you're like, oh, I think I just want to have a chat. And I was like, are you sure about that? And somebody else might have thought, oh, she's kind of pushing me away or rejecting me. But I was more in the energy of like, you've got this, right? You know this, and I'm always going to be here for you. But let's go to that space, right?
And it was quite funny because we had set up that appointment time for the Friday. And then on the Thursday night, I felt completely resolved of it. Yeah. I don't really need to talk to you anymore. Thank you.
That's what you want. Like at the end of the day, you want essentially to be your own coach.
Yeah.
The person goes, okay, this is the issue or the dissonance, and what am I going to choose to do about that? So that's so exciting for me to see that in you too as well, because I know that you have a big following, you have a lot of people who adore you. I love seeing your Instagram posts with all your beautiful babies, because it really does kind of show you how you bring it all together, like even doing Facebook live videos with your children, etc. I saw one where you were doing a smoothie, I think, and it was fantastic. It was just like, this is how you do it. You actually just show up and do it. But let's answer that question. Like, if you're a mum and you want to step into it for yourself, what advice would you give them?
I think the biggest piece of advice that I could give someone is to definitely to fill up your own cup and really get clear on what you want as a person, not as a family, as a person, what you want, and also just carving out some time for yourself throughout the day and to create a daily practice. So I know prior to working with you, I had training, and it was all about getting up like an hour earlier and doing like a miracle morning and stuff like that. And it just didn't work for me. Like I just couldn't not have that hour sleep. I really needed that hour sleep to function throughout the day. So being okay with implementing different things and making it your own, but still keeping the fundamentals of it as well. So for me, I do at least 15 minutes of my daily practice every morning, and then I meditate before I go to bed. So just creating and finding what lights you up. So for me, journaling and writing things, I really enjoy that. And often I do it in the bar at like 9 o'clock at night. That's my time. And it's just really powerful. So it's all about finding out what lifts you up. And there's girls on my team that find that joy in going to the gym, and that's their kind of like meditation space and their intuitive space and their daily practice. So I think just finding your joy and working out and making it a consistent thing as opposed to a once in a blue moon thing when you feel like you're breaking. Instead of getting to that point, being like every single day I'm going to do it, and then it's just going to compound over and over and over and over again. So that breaking point, it still may be there, but it won't hit you as hard. You have developed yourself enough, like in that space every single day, that you kind of like, okay, this is showing up, but what can I do?
Yes.
As opposed to just crashing, and then your whole life crashes and your whole house crashes and the energy changes, and it's just like, oh my God, like,
how am I going to deal with this?
Yeah. And I think
Fee's just saying, I love that advice, Ash, fill your cup.
Yeah. And I think too, being okay to get help as well. So that was probably one of my things, was it's really hard for me to ask for help. But finding like a babysitter, or even just asking my parents to look after the kids, or aunties, or anything like that, it just all helps. And I know the first course that I did, I often did that because it was a lunchtime setting. So I often got my mum to just watch my girls for an hour or two while I did the course. And just being like, okay, this is gonna work.
Yes. So making a definitive decision, right? So what do you think you have discovered in terms of your own intuition or psychic abilities in terms of having done intuitive mastery? For you, because I would imagine that probably shows up quite a lot with your girls, since you spend, a lot of time with them.
So one of the biggest things that I've noticed as well is I have a hearing loss, and it's mild to severe hearing loss. And I have found that it's quite funny, since I've tapped into my intuition, and we all receive it in different settings and senses and stuff like that, and I hear mine. So I hear my intuition the most, which I find, again, that like that of what were we talking about? Like that counteract, like
the oxymoron, and it's kind of like totally, because we've talked about that before, right? Like in relationship, not that you do ourselves or what's wrong, but to be willing to ask those questions and go, if this is presenting itself. Because I remember because your hearing was doing something interesting, and we were like, oh, isn't this interesting in terms of the audience, which is the ability to be able to quickly. So that's great, right? I love that.
Quite cool. And I think I've always, like, everyone's all got their own intuition, and you can tap into it. Some are weaker and some are stronger, and just the strength of my intuition now is like, I only have to ask, like, take a couple of deep breaths and ask myself, and I know. Like I can get an answer very, very quickly now. And I think it's just honoring that answer as well. I think too, because like having hearing loss, I like block some things out. Like if it's a muffled tone, I just block it out. So I think that's been one of my things, is just like unblocking and just being like, okay, to hear different things. So yeah. And I think opening everyone up around me to the energy work as well. I remember when I first started and I was telling my dad about it, and he was like, oh my God, what are you doing? And then my mum went through a bit of a hard time with her health, and it was just so nice to be able to support her on an energetic level and maybe open her mind up to things that previously was closed off to. Yeah, and also just influencing my girls as well, like getting them to step into their own intuition. And yeah.
Because also too, you'd agree that it takes practice, right, to develop your intuitive gifts. Because also when people, I think, so what would you just say to somebody who's maybe interested or curious about developing their intuition, but maybe they're coming up against some of that resistance like we all do when we first start, which is this working? Am I getting this? Like, what's going on? You know, that confusion that can sometimes be created.
Yeah.
Somebody in that situation.
I think everyone needs to tap into their intuition. Everyone needs to, and there's no like right or wrong with it. So it's not like you're sitting there going, oh, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, or is it wrong, or is it really my intuition, or it's just practice. Like just being open to it. And like Rebecca said, like when I come into this, I had no idea what I was doing. But I just knew I needed to be here, and I knew I needed to open up to something bigger. And that was my intuition. And to do that, I just trusted the process. And just like Rebecca said, I just showed up and I was committed to it. And I was like, okay, this is going to work. I've heard people and I've seen it happen for other people where they can tap into their intuition and it's really, really strong. So why can't it happen for me?
Absolutely. But why do you think it's important? Like if somebody's not in their intuitive space at the moment, why do you think it, you know, what would you say to somebody who's like, why?
Yeah. What would I say?
What does it bring you?
Just brings you safety and support, and to know that I think too, like everything that is happening around you is happening for you, as opposed to being against you. And your intuition helps you to just have more of a relaxed energy and to help you through, like life is full of curveballs and life goes up and down. We all know that. But your intuition just helps you to get you through the lows pretty much. And I can vouch for this too, like as well, like we went through our bushfires here at the start of the year, and we got evacuated twice, and at the second evacuation we got evacuated for like 12 days. And the whole process going through that, I felt like my intuition was guiding me. It was helping me to help my girl through the process, and it was helping me to process the emotions as well too, because my husband was back here like fighting the fires. So just it, like I could use the tools and I could use my intuition to help support me through the process and help me to know, okay, this is really like crappy what is happening right now, and I don't know what is going to happen at the end of it, but I know that this is happening for me and that there's something greater out there that is going to blossom from this. Yeah, so I suppose it's really like support.
Ash, do you mind just repeating what you just said, because it just scrambled a little bit at the end there?
Okay, where was I up to?
Sorry,
that's all good.
You're talking about your husband, and your intuition was supporting you through that process, so you could be there for your girl. Yeah.
So I was using a lot of the tools, and a lot of meditation and a lot of tapping into my intuition to help me go through my emotions and also honor my emotions as well, as instead of like putting them under a rug. It was just helping me to bring that safety and bring that support in and just see it from a bigger perspective as well, of being like, okay, there's something coming from this. Like there's something bigger that's happening around this, and I don't know what's going on, but I trust and I feel supported.
Yeah. And we've talked a lot about this before too, right? Like what your intuition does is it widens the perspective.
Yeah.
You expand your energy, your frequency, your vibration, but also to when you open up, it's like you get all the information that's on the outside of your you. So
and I was very I become very stressful and very overwhelmed and very anxious very easy prior to developing this. Prior to developing my intuition, I was an overthinker. I would like be like a bomb pretty much. Like I go off very, very easily because I bottle up my emotions. And this is just like, I just feel like there's no way to put it, but I just feel supported. And I feel like there's someone always there because it's my higher power and there's my higher self and it's my intuition. And I know that it's not going to get me into trouble or anything. It's just showing me lessons and it's helping guide me through life.
Yeah. So in essence as well, you're more relaxed.
Yeah.
And because like when you feel safe and it's not just your body, right? It's all your different energy fields as well. So it flows through everything, which then impacts how you show up throughout your day, how you are with your kids, your partner, your business. So
and I could really honor that and take that time to tap into my own intuition and then be there for my kids and have that relaxed energy for them throughout the day and help them process their emotions and help them feel supported.
That's the most, because I think that's a very, a lot of people that I work with, they don't often feel safe.
Yeah.
To be able to create, and safety, of course, is something that you have to create for yourself. Nobody else can give it to you. So what thing that you are demonstrating that again for your own girls.
Yeah, exactly.
Feel that. Yeah. I love it. So tell me, what are you excited about for the future?
Lots of exciting things for the future. I really feel like the first year of working with you, it was really like learning the process and like shifting a lot of heavy stuff. And then last year it was really like taking it up to the next level. And then the first half of this year, it's been like coaching people, which is something that when I started, I remember saying to you, I don't want to coach anyone. Like, I just want this for me. I want this for my team and my girls and stuff like that. But it's quite funny. I've done a couple of sessions for people and they've had like huge impact, which has been amazing. So the future for me just looks so supported, so bright. I see my business thriving even more, giving myself my own permission to step into my leadership. So that is where I'm heading now. It's just really upping the ante with my leadership and bringing the best of Arbonne and my business over there and the energy work and bringing them together. And long way down the road, I see myself like actually opening up like a health and healing center as well to use really beautiful products that are results driven and have taken out harmful toxins and chemicals and stuff like that, and that support energy work too, because we really need to have a clean body when we're doing energy work. It helps that energy flow a lot better. So using that, but also being able to offer people energy healings and allow people to step into their own power. And I think if more women step into their power, both mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, like the world is just going to absolutely change. And it's happening. Like it's happening. More and more women are getting more and more empowered and stepping into their own power and supporting each other. Like I think it's great. that we can come on and we can support each other. And I just am so excited for the next evolution.
Yeah, creating your own team, right? And bringing that energy out through that. You know, leadership really is a magical space. I mean, it's a privilege to be a leader for sure. It's also, you know, and it also, you know, you're constantly growing because you want to be better for people, but you're also constantly doing the work internally so you can show up for people. So admire that, Ash, and using nutrition and Arbonne and then the energy work as well. It's just such an amazing vehicle for it to go out into the world in such a positive way. So
absolutely. And I think that in turn, me going out there and getting what I want and manifesting what I want and creating what I want and helping other women to do the same thing, it's in turn empowering my girls to step up and step into their own power and to know that they can create anything too. So that not only am I affecting my team and all of my clients and stuff like that, there's these 4 beautiful little girls that are following right behind me. And then watching it, and then they get to watch the journey too. Like they're at an age where they can really start to watch the journey unfold. And then I think that's so powerful. Like that's to know that, like they're stepping into that next revolution and just to see where they're going to go. It's really exciting.
That is exciting. Even like, you know, over the next 10 years, what's possible in terms of opening them up. Wow. Super exciting. And even with your business as well, because, you know, I think you have a very good handle on the fact that, you know, if it's meant to be, it's up to me, right? Like, you know, I'm the one who has to take responsibility and accountability for how my life shows up. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for being an Academy Rockstar. I have honestly, I'm so blessed and grateful for working with you. You're such a bright star, and, you know, you've got bucket loads of courage in terms of what you have created for yourself. You know, it's just been outstanding, and I honor your commitment. I honor all those times and places where you were frightened or scared or afraid or in some contraction, but you showed up anyway in spite of, you know, frustration or anger or hurt or doubt, which we all go through, to be the person who's going to go, no, this is what I want and this is what's going to happen. And you've done that, and you're continuing to do that. So
thank you so much.
Oh, I love your bunches.
Me too. I do. I really seriously am so grateful for that day that I asked for that angel, because it came in a perfect form. And thank you. Thank you so much. Like, I think it is such a privilege. Like, we have never met in person.
Yeah, I know. And I was just thinking that the other day, like, what's to be able to give you a hug.
I know. It's crazy. Like, so amazing that we're in 2 different countries and we can connect on online, and that's a lot of my business as well, is connection online, especially like we've all been doing that the last couple of months, but it's just so powerful, and I feel so honored, and thank you so much for having me on today. And if anyone has any questions, please reach out to me. I'm on Facebook, but I spend most of my time over on Instagram. So my Instagram handle is Ashleigh Weule. So ASHLEIGHWEULE. You will find
I put a link under this post for you too, love, because even looking at your Instagram is really beautiful. You've got one of those beautifully curated Instagram pages, so worth going over and checking it out. And also too, right, you know, you're always giving people free information and awareness in regards to health and wellness too, which is beautiful. And seeing pictures of your 4 beautiful babies. So, do you do a lot of your photography, or does somebody else?
I do.
You're very good at it. Like, your photography skills are pretty top notch.
A lot of the ones that with the girls that are on there, that is actually a photographer, but everything else is and I think that's the beauty of this. Like, stepping into my own power is, I'm like, okay, I am creative, I can do this, and there's apps and there's lots of really cool things that you can use, as opposed to like putting it aside. I know when I was hairdressing, I was like, oh, I can't have this and I can't have that and I can't have this, I can only be a hairdresser. Whereas stepping into your own power, you can draw in the things that bring you joy, and it comes through on my Instagram page.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'll definitely post it under. I put it in the event page. We'll post it on us here as well, so people can follow you there. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much, and I'm really grateful.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, you too.
All right, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
See you. Bye.